Hey, we've done it. We're here.
After one malfunction after another, we finally made it.
I think we only had to reschedule this one twice, which is a record for us.
Is it? I feel like literally when we
I
were
don't
like
even know.
season 3, I feel like we literally like pushed it off for almost a month once.
I lost track of how many times we rescheduled. I just stopped paying attention. I'm like, am
I don't know.
recording tonight? Yes or no?
We're at the
Yeah.
point where like the airing episodes for us now are like catching up to us. And so I'm like, uh-oh.
I know.
I know.
I forgot. I was
We-
going to publish 604 yesterday, which was the day after Christmas. But yeah, so I forgot to publish the episode, so I guess I'll publish it right after.
Oh, I
day
didn't
after
even
New
realize.
Year's.
It was the day after Christmas.
We
It's
took the week
it's
off
okay.
for Christmas, yeah.
Yeah, guys,
Yeah.
sorry. We'll
No,
be back
totally.
next week.
Definitely, for sure.
Well, at this point,
No.
we're like so far in the future. This episode's probably going to show up in like February,
I know when I was listening back
maybe end
to
of
like
January.
the first couple episodes, I was talking about like whether or not the Phillies were gonna get into the playoffs, and like ever since then, they have disappointed me so.
Oh.
The Eagles finally stopped disappointing me. By the time this airs, who knows if they'll be back on a losing streak? But
Do you think, I haven't been keeping up, but do they have a good chance of going to the Super Bowl?
yeah, they're in the playoffs. They clinched a playoff spot.
The Ravens just had a really good game
They
on Christmas
did.
too.
They
They fucking
beat
creamed them.
the Niners.
Yeah.
Ooh,
They beat
my
the
mom
shit
had
out of
to
the
remind
Niners.
me. My mom had to remind me, like not sports related, but the Emmys are soon.
Oh
She
shit!
was like, oh, the Emmys are soon. And I was like, what? She was like, yeah, they got delayed because of
Strike.
the
The strike.
strikes.
yeah.
And I completely forgot.
When
I
is
was like,
Emmy-
wait, who is even nominated? Like, I
when are
had
the
to look it
Emmys
up.
normally supposed to air?
In like September,
Summer?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it's like September.
Damn, so they're like 6
Yeah.
months late.
Yeah, because of the strikes.
And then I think the Oscars might be on track to still be in February, because that's when the Oscars usually are.
yeah, is Kimmel hosting?
I think so. Unfortunately,
Who's hosting the Emmys?
I think Joe Coy.
I actually don't know if they have a.
Who dat?
Wait, they
He's
have a host
Chelsea
for the Emmys this year?
Lately's or Chelsea Handler's ex-boyfriend. She dumped him for being.
I don't even know who that is.
He's a stand-up comedian. She dumped him for being homophobic.
No. Anthony Anderson's hosting
Anthony Anderson.
I'm gonna ask
The
again.
Emmys.
Who dat?
from Blackish.
Oh.
Oh,
He
okay.
is in some trouble.
Maybe Joe
is
Coy is
Oh.
hosting
what
the
I've heard.
Globes. Maybe that's what it is.
Wait, why is he in
Kimmel's
trouble?
hosting the Oscars. Sexual harassment /
Anthony
assault
Anderson?
allegations.
Oh shit! I didn't know that.
Oh damn.
The Globes do
Oh,
not.
we're gonna date ourselves.
Oh,
so
Joe.
it is
Joe
Yeah.
Coy.
February.
is the
I just
Globes.
said it's February. Oh my god, it's December 27th.
December 27th,
Hey guys,
No, yeah, Joe Coy. I'm pretty sure Chelsea Handler dumped him for being homophobic.
is Chelsea Handler the girl from Brooklyn Nine?
No, Chelsea Handler.
No, that's Chelsea Peretti,
uh,
and she's with Jordan
yeah.
Peele.
Yes.
Chelsea Handler had that show Chelsea Lately. She, yeah,
Yep, and
Why do
they're
like
not
I
together
literally
anymore.
don't know anyone.
she's like
ever.
a 50-something blonde woman.
Chelsea
Handler.
Who is this?
Handler.
Well, I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah.
Oh, I know who she is. She's the one who does like she's like super like stern with like controversial people,
Yeah.
and she's like, actually, let's talk about this stuff because you're an
Yeah.
asshole.
Quote unquote, some behaviors that we couldn't agree on.
Yeah, he was homophobic.
I see.
But yeah, because God forbid we have like a funny woman host any of these shows, who might not have sexually assaulted somebody or done something
Jimmy
racist
Kimmel
or
needs to
homophobic.
sit down.
Yeah,
We've seen enough of him. We see him every day.
Well, it's also like, God forbid, we just don't have a host.
the shows were better when they're
Like, because I'm sick of when the hosts come.
And then it would just be all celebrity presenters,
Also,
right?
or it's like, if you're gonna have somebody host, get Seth Meyers in there.
or Amber
What's he up
Ruffin,
to?
who writes
I'm
for
just
Seth
singing.
Meyers and is just as
Like, hey,
get Adam Devine. Oh, we haven't recorded since I watched all of Modern Family. I finished Modern Family yesterday.
Oh my God, are you as mad as most people are?
Yeah.
That she didn't get back with Andy.
Yeah. I also would have been happy if Haley didn't end up with any of them. I am a little mad that the ending was Dylan.
Oh yeah. Well, because I know Dylan was like just the wrong choice.
Yeah.
From what I've heard. But yeah, people were like up in arms about it. Apparently, even Sarah Hyland like approached Adam at an after party one time and was like, "Hey, what the hell? Like, what, you didn't want to come back to Modern Family?" And he was like, "What are you talking about? I asked to come back so many times. They told me that they couldn't like find the funny between the two of us.
What?
Like they were like, they said he said apparently they couldn't find, the producer said they couldn't find the funny between Haley and Andy anymore, so they didn't have me come back. He was like, I would have loved to come back. He's like, I told my manager to ask if I could come back many times.
And he was
it was like after
good.
she saw him at some after party for maybe like a movie he did or like some award show.
Which actor is he?
Adam Devine, Pitch Perfect. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize he was in Modern Family. I never watched.
You should watch it,
Modern
Evan.
Family
I just
before.
watched it front to back.
Oh, I didn't realize he was in that show. That's so
he
silly.
plays,
Oh my goodness.
yeah, one of Haley's boyfriends.
The amount of guest stars that are in that show, crazy.
That's how I've been feeling. I've been watching 30 Rock lately, and that show is like horribly racist. But okay, it's really, really like it aged poorly. But apparently, if you go back and read like writing during the time, a lot of critics are like, it's one of the best shows on TV to handle race. Like they really get it, or like they just like the satire really makes sense. Yeah. Which like I could definitely see that, but I just know that it's aged so poorly.
Oh, yeah.
But Amanda, question for you, because we didn't really talk about it. But you sent me that photo of that one episode that Anders is in. Uh-huh. Did you have any thoughts?
He's in it for literally one scene.
I know he's in it for like no time at all, but it's like, what'd you think?
I wish he would have been in more. I wish he would have, like, the whole thing was Phil was trying to sell him a house, and they were like desperate to sell him the house, so they like researched him online and like got way too invasive.
Yeah, I watched that episode.
But yeah,
and then he showed up.
I would have liked him to have moved into the house and stuck around a little bit. Like,
he's funny as fuck, bro. Like, I don't know. Maybe you should watch Workaholics. Whatever.
I watched Workaholics in college.
Oh, that's so right. It is such a college.
My mom loved Workaholics growing up. I never watched it though myself
nothing
either.
Of note after. Actually, okay, I will say that Monarch show, the Godzilla one, is pretty damn good. And there's some serious throuple energy going on with his character, Wyatt Russell, who's Kurt Russell's son, and Mari Yamamoto, I think is the actress's name. Like the three of them play like a kind of a team. There's some serious throupling energy going on there. Like, you will not beat my gay allegations.
What show is this?
Monarch, Legacy of Monsters. It's an Apple TV show.
Okay.
Allegedly, I've been watching it other ways, but it's really good. And I know nothing about like the Godzilla movies, really.
I just remember Millie Bobby Brown is in one of them.
Well, that might be the one that John Goodman is also in, because Durs plays like young John Goodman, which people are like, what the fuck? And I'm also like, what the fuck? But
yeah, that's so fucking weird.
Well, because it's like, sure.
Yeah.
Sure he is.
Yeah, okay.
But it's, I mean, I think
having
it's a good
seen
show.
Younger John Goodman in Roseanne, if you age him back and shed some of the weight, I can see it. I see the vision.
Right. Well, it's like I think that you could absolutely like say there is a narrative reason that you could say he gained a drastic amount of weight between Anders and young John Goodman. Yeah. Because something traumatic does happen to him. So it's like you could make the argument of like, oh, he's been really depressed or like whatever.
Yeah. And like because John Goodman has like classic like old Hollywood movie star looks. Like that.
Right. Well, and John Goodman in the past couple of years has lost a lot of weight. So
yeah, no, he like got really, really skinny.
Right. So in the
like really fast.
In the beginning of the Monarch show, you do see like current John Goodman. He has a scene and he's
what
pretty
is the
thin.
show dated? Like the 70s or 80s?
It's like half set. So the cool thing about it is that Kurt Russell and Wyatt Russell, who are father and son in real life, play the same character. So
that's
in
cool.
the like 2015 timeline, it's Kurt Russell and he's working with like these like younger people, and then the storyline is connecting back to the 50s
Didn't they do that in Tron?
Maybe with
I think didn't his
what's his name? Not with Kurt Russell, because him and Wyatt have never been in anything together, apparently. Yeah,
no, I think they did the same thing. Like the dad played, like his son played his son because he gets trapped in the video game.
Yeah.
Blah blah blah. Anyway,
but
sorry,
it,
continue your story.
It connects back to the 50s storyline, and Durs is in the 50s
that was
storyline with Wyatt.
Gotcha.
The NWA movie. Ice Cube's son played Ice Cube in that movie.
That's true. That's true.
But But
And
yeah,
I had a little bit
I
of a crush on him.
texted
Whatever.
Lena when I got to the episode that Adam Devine was in. I get it. You know what? I get it.
You get
Yeah,
it.
hey.
He's magnetic.
It was so funny. The message literally just goes, Lena.
I get it now.
I get it.
Well, he's so damn charming.
I laughed
He's
when I
so
saw that
damn
message.
charming.
He's very charming. Well, and that's the thing is I understand why he had that run of rom-coms. He's not for everyone. But he did like a run of rom-coms after Modern Family. Like what was it? Like When We First Met,
Yeah.
Jexy, which was kind of a piece of shit. Isn't It Romantic? Like he
Even
did several...
Mike and Dave Need Wedding Dates.
Mike and Dave is, I mean, it's more heavy
yeah,
on the
that's a good
comedy than the
one.
romance. But he was like a leading man in several movies. And I'm like, no, I get it. I get why
Yeah.
he was
No,
being
yeah,
cast.
Evan, if you see him in literally
Yeah.
2 scenes,
He's
of Modern
charismatic
Family,
as
you're
fuck.
like, no, I would also develop a crush on him immediately. Like,
No, I've never said I've been anti Adam
He was also...
You're putting words in my
I'll
mouth.
say it. And Mike
I
and
think
Dave...
he's a cutie. I've seen him in so many things. Like I've never like sat down and watched like
yeah.
I'm gonna watch an Adam Devine.
I'm never
show
gonna
or, like,
sit down
movie.
and watch
But,
Uncle Grandpa for no reason.
like like when he pops up though, I'm
You're like,
like,
hey,
hey.
baby, it's been a long
Yeah, I'm
time.
like,
What are
hey,
you doing
babe.
here?
Hey babe.
Ooh,
Yeah, no, I think he's the funniest person ever. Like, don't get
He's
me
definitely
wrong.
got his bits, but
I'm gonna circle it. He was in Mike and Dave Need Wedding Dates with Zac Efron. Zac Efron is in a brand new movie called Iron Claw with our man Jeremy Allen White.
with
But
Jeremy Allen White.
Jeremy, and also freaking Jerry went to Zac Efron's like Hollywood star like
Aw,
thing.
That's sweet. Jeremy,
was really cute. I was
Jeremy
watching,
must
like-
be really like he must just be like fun to be around
Yeah.
because I swear he
Yeah.
becomes besties with like every co-star.
Yeah,
that he
Yeah.
has.
and everyone always just speaks so highly of him. And Jeremy's like, "Wait, me?"
He's like, hey, what's up, guys?
No.
I'm Jeremy Allen
I think
White.
he like forgets he's famous. Like, I feel like he's one of those people where like,
That's what he said about Zac Efron. He's like, the thing about Zac Efron is he's a leading man who I don't think knows that he's a celebrity.
Yeah. like I feel like that's how Jeremy is because I feel like even though like as successful as a show Shameless was, he like was always around, but he was never like pushed to the front. And like even though that show literally ended what 4 years ago? Oh.
Shameless ended
Yeah.
less than 3 years
yeah.
ago.
Okay, yeah, so like 2.5 years ago when that show ended, like Homeboy only started like I feel like being like Jeremy Allen White time was like
Yeah,
last
Well, it
year.
was after the
that's
bear.
what I was so
Yeah, obviously
Yeah,
for the
but, like,
bear, but
he
I'm just
didn't-
like
I was so defensive when the bear came out and everybody's like, "Oh my god, who's this guy?" I'm like, "Where the fuck have you been for 11 years? Where have you been?"
Okay, I will say he did like one movie with
the scary.
Dave
I watched
Franco
him in
and
that
Alison
one scary
Brie and-
movie.
Oh,
Addison.
yeah.
So like
Is that the cabin movie?
The Cabin or something.
That movie sucked.
I think he got a lot of attention for
That
that,
movie
because
sucked
Dave
so
Franco
bad.
directed it,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's why it
That
got
movie
like.
was
and then
fun.
people were
less
like, "Oh my
awareness.
god, Lip from Shameless."
No, here's my thing about that movie. I love a good like thriller, like kind of like murder mystery type movie because it's basically one of those movies where like everyone gets killed off. You don't know, it's not who you think is the killer. Blah 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 blah. My whole thing is just like it was the plot was a whole lot of nothing. Everyone got killed within 3 seconds. Like either they just got shot, they got stabbed, or they got pushed over like a wall. It was over within a millisecond, and then the reveal was so anticlimactic.
sort of
and then
like
the movie
a-
I
ended.
agree.
Okay.
I agree.
Isn't it sort of like a bodies thing where it turns out like
I never saw bodies,
Okay.
honestly.
without
so
like spoiling in serious detail, like people think that there is a murderer on the loose because someone turns up dead, and then as it turns out, maybe they were not murdered.
It's more like they think it's no.
No, it's
more
more
like they
like-
think one of their group is
Has killed
the
someone
killer,
else.
but it's a whole other thing. Yeah.
Right. And
Yeah,
then
'cause there's,
it
like,
sort of becomes about like interpersonal drama
Yeah.
rather than the threat of being hunted by a killer.
yeah, because everyone like basically gets killed without realizing, so it's not even like there's any fight or there's any like.
Well, and I know the
like,
cabin, a
tension
lot
or
of it is
whatever.
that there's sort of like cheating going on, right?
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah. They like
yeah.
fuck each other's significant others. Yeah.
Yeah. And, like, you think it's, like, the racist neighbor from next door because one of the characters is, like, a black woman. So, of course, he, like, makes unnecessary comments directly at her. So you think he's the killer, but then he gets killed. And, like, it's a whole thing.
But I've
Bad
heard
movie.
nothing but good things about Ironclaw, even though I will admit, I know that it was
same.
medically necessary. Zac Efron's new chin scares me, and I don't like it.
No, dude, when I
Yeah.
see him in a photo,
Oh.
I just, like, I feel like someone put a filter
Yeah.
I
on
feel so
him.
bad though. Well, because he was like, because
He
for a
shattered
couple
his
of years.
jaw.
Yeah, for a couple of years he had been doing these like jaw exercises to keep it like looking the same.
Yeah.
But then for some reason, maybe it was over the pandemic or something, he said that he like stopped doing them, and that's what caused his other muscles to grow.
Yeah.
And now he just like can't do anything about
Interesting.
it.
And it just looks like his jaws is extended.
But also it is
now,
like,
and I just feel
well, it is like,
bad.
well, at the end of the day, you got reconstructive surgery.
Yeah.
And you look like you got
Yeah, of
reconstructive
course that shit's
surgery.
not gonna
But
be
like
the
it was a
same.
medically necessary reconstructive surgery, but yeah, it does.
Right. Well,
Weren't
it
there,
wasn't
like,
like cosmetic. Like
conspiracies?
he had no jaw. Like
Yeah.
I feel like I saw like there was some conspiracies that like it was like him saying that he broke his jaw was like a cover.
No, he did.
How
I
he
He
remember-
break his jaw?
fell
I
and
don't-
hit his chin on a fountain, and it shattered.
I thought it
his
was a
jaw.
dock. I thought it was like he was on a dock.
I just don't remember
like,
the
on
full
the
story.
water.
That's not me
I-
accusing him of lying.
I do
just
remember when
was-
that happened. I remember like articles and stuff about it. Being like,
yeah, about being like
well, because it was like he
got
almost
plastic
almost
surgery.
died, like
Yeah.
straight up.
Oh damn, I didn't know that.
Wait, Zac
But he's
Efron.
getting all the reviews I'm seeing of Ironclaw is not like, yes, Jeremy Allen White is good and I'm very excited for him, but also
It's all
that Zac
praise to Zac,
Efron is
which
going to
is
get a
awesome.
fucking Oscar for this movie.
He
Have you guys seen it yet?
said
Because I haven't.
the accident happened in November 2013. He was
That was,
running
like,
through his
his
house one day
peak.
while wearing socks when he slipped and smacked his face on the corner of a granite fountain, shattering his jaw. He began regularly going to physical therapy to rehabilitate. But when he was traveling around Australia, he had to take time off
Doing
from
that, like,
doing
food
from
stuff,
doing those
right?
yeah, for a show. He took time off from doing facial exercises and physical therapy, and then he said since the muscles in the face all work together like a symphony, his masseter muscles, which are the ones used for chewing, began to overcompensate because the other parts were injured, and that's why hit like that.
So
part.
the surgery only happened like in what 2013, and then he
But
just
then
stayed
he-
behind closed doors
He
for like a
didn't.
while.
No, but he didn't. He had been going to physical therapy like super regularly until
Was it just him not
Until
doing that regularly is
2021.
what intensified it?
until
'Cause, like,
2021.
Greatest Showman was what, 2015, 2016? Like he looked
Yeah,
normal.
he
yeah,
did
this
not
was
look
like
like that.
mid.
And
What,
then him in the
2013?
Australian
This
show.
was like
I feel like
Mid High
him
School
during,
Musical,
'cause,
like-
when it was like Eat Australia or something like that. I remember that's when I feel like people started
Yeah.
to make comments. They were like, his.
Well,
looks
I think
like,
he also-
being like, oh, his jaw looks.
I think he
I
also
will
got
say-
filler.
Get surgery.
I think he also got filler sometime around there too, because his cheekbones looked
compensate, too.
strange too.
his lips look really plump. Not gonna lie.
He looked really tight
I will
for a
say-
second, and I was just like, it looked like someone just like put like a plastic bag across his face and just like pulled it
Yeah.
really, really
Yeah,
tight.
I will say, like, you can see, I'm pretty sure, after the accident, his jawline is a lot sharper, probably because of, like, how they reconstructed it, because, and you could attribute this to him, like, getting older, too, but, like,
Because he's what 30 something.
yeah, but, like, in his early career, his face was pretty round.
Yeah.
Like, he didn't have, like, a super square jawline, and then it wasn't until after, like, that accident that I think the reconstruction gave him a really square jawline. But again, you could also attribute that to him, like,
And
getting
again, this
older.
is not shade
Yeah.
on him. Every once in a while,
No,
You
this is
catch
I was
him
just
from-
trying to understand what the
you
fuck
catch him from an
happened.
angle, and I can see like his old face from like a certain angle, and then he turns his head the rest of the way, and I was like, I'm just still
yeah,
getting
looking
used to
at him
it.
straight on, I'm
Yeah.
like,
I also
ugh.
do just think it is
Sorry.
like certain photos of him that look
Yeah.
weirder than
All
others.
the
but I
promo for
will
Iron
say,
Claw with the saturation does not
I
help
will say,
it.
like, yeah, I do think he got filler or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. No shame though. Fucking everyone in Hollywood
Right.
has something in their face at this point.
And he
like,
had,
you got the money, knock
did you
yourself
see
out,
at
bro.
his Walk of Fame, his star thing, he did a really lovely tribute to Matthew Perry too.
I didn't watch that far enough
No,
in the
I
video.
didn't.
He did a love you tribute because they
'Cause they
became really
did,
close friends during 17 again. And
Oh,
That
yeah,
movie's
yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
He's-
Oh, I saw some.
Because he plays young.
I watched an interview he did a
Matthew Perry.
couple a couple weeks ago where he talked about 17 again and Matthew Perry.
Yeah, he
I'm
said
sorry, I'm
working-
still looking at pictures of him, and I think he got something done with his eyebrows, maybe. I'm like, brow lift or something, maybe.
I love 17 again. It's one of those movies where it's just so good. And it fucking has Sterling Knight in it, brother.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, he said working with
And
Matthew
then-
Perry like made him a better actor. It like forced him to like do things differently than like the teeny bopper things he had been doing. And yeah, so he gave like a really nice tribute to him at his Walk of Fame ceremony. It was lovely.
Like, even though that is such a silly movie, that's such like a very emotional
it's so
movie.
good.
Like, such an emotional
It's so
movie.
good. I remember seeing it in the theaters with my mom.
Yeah.
I had it on DVD.
I had it on DVD.
But I do want to see Iron Claw. I think it came out on Christmas. I'm really excited for it.
You know what I saw for Christmas in the movie theaters?
What?
Die Hard.
Good for
Ooh.
you.
That was awesome. I've
Has
never...
anyone here seen that Sydney Sweeney rom-com?
No,
No.
it looks stupid.
I know,
and
but
also,
people
I
are
just
saying
don't like
it's
the
kind
whole
of
fact
sneaky.
of
People
what
are
happened.
saying it's kind of sneaky good. Or it's just like
I
classic
don't want to
rom-com.
believe it. I watched some of the dialogue. I mean, I watched a clip and I heard some of the dialogue, and just like the way Glenn Powell was delivering his lines, I was like, I don't think I could sit
Oh, he's
through
a Ken
2
doll.
hours of
Yeah.
this.
See, he's the thing that I would buy in a rom-com. Because the thing with the rom-com is you gotta lean into it. Like, you know you're here for
Yeah.
corny. Lean into it.
Yeah, he's
But like,
corny.
I think I'm so past that I can't.
Yeah.
And also, I saw this post today where it's like a photo of him. He's just like, he looks like a parking meter. I just want to put coins through his mouth, and that made me laugh so hard. And I was like, honestly, I get it.
Okay, so
Let's talk about a show
jibber
that
jabbed.
we all
That we
are
should talk
familiar
about.
with.
we're in season 6, episode 5. We're a little bit toward halfway through season 6. Look, we're doing it.
Is there 11 or 12
I
episodes
think
this
there's
season?
12.
12.
But we're closer to halfway than not.
We'll see when we get there.
We're season 6. Hi, by the way, my name is Amanda. I'm one of your hosts. This is the Luck We Had, a shameless recap podcast.
Hi, I'm Evan. I'm one of your other hosts.
I'm Lena. I'm your other host.
23 minutes in. We love to see it.
Let's go. We already kind of dated ourselves earlier, but it is Wednesday, December 27th.
Yes.
It is 2 days after 2 days after
Christmas.
Christmas.
It's still 2023.
I hope everyone had a wonderful Christmas. I know I did.
Yeah.
I hope my lovely ladies did as well.
Yeah. Had a pretty good one. Got absolutely fucking hammered on Christmas Eve,
Same.
as is my right.
Hell yeah.
Same.
Hell yeah.
Christmas is weird.
My mom makes this sangria and I have this goblet that's basically half a bottle of wine. I had at least a full bottle of wine.
Perfect. Yeah, Christmas got weird in my house, so everyone was drinking to cope. So it's okay.
I had like 3 Christmases because I just have like family scattered all over the place. But my actual Christmas was just me, my mom, and my brother. So I just watched Catching Fire. I think ABC was just showing all the Hunger Games movies.
Nice.
So guess what I did?
I
Sat on
watched
the
all of
couch
them.
all day
I watched
and
Wedding
that.
Crashers a couple days before Christmas because it was on cable. I was like, this is the last great American rom-com. Bradley Cooper, you will be
That's
hearing
awesome.
from me.
Me and my parents, and Zoe, we watched Chitty Chitty Bang Bang and then Mary Poppins.
Perfect double
That's
feature.
awesome.
Yeah. But yes, this is a Shameless Recap podcast. Let's recap some Shameless, shall we?
Let's go.
This is episode 605, season 6, episode 5, Refugees. It aired, excuse me, it aired February 7th of 2016. It was written by Eaton Frankel. This is his 20th of 23 episodes. We're getting toward the end of him. He was also executive story editor in all of season 1. And he wrote 205, Father's Day, and 210, A Great Cause. 307, A Long Way from Home, and 312, Survival of the Fittest. 404, Strangers on a Train. 409, The Legend of Bonnie and Carl. 505, Rite of Passage. 509, Carl's for Sentencing. This one and 610, Paradise Lost. And he wraps it up with 706, The Defenestration of Frank, and 711.
Damn.
He was a producer through season 7.
He's crazy for that.
And the director, Wendy Stansler. This is the second of 2 episodes. One was 508, Uncle Carl. She directed some early Grey's Anatomy and Private Practice. Does a lot of like 1 or 2 episode jobs on like a bunch of different TV shows.
She's bouncing around.
Yeah. And the synopsis of this episode of season 6, episode 5, Refugees. Frank helps Erica through the cancer concierge process as Debbie ups her game with Tyler. Lip tries to protect Helene from the fallout of Amanda's disclosure.
Am I crazy, or does like that synopsis just like spoil?
Yeah. I was
the
like,
episode?
wait, did
Because
that
it's like-
happen at the
because-
end of the last episode? No, it didn't. It happened
It didn't.
in this one.
Right. And so like if you were watching like and you were like looking ahead to DVR next week's or something,
Yeah.
you would just get like spoiled, and it's like, oh.
Yeah. I like, as I was reading that, I was like, did we skip an episode? Like, did we already cover Amanda doing that thing? No, she doesn't in
like,
this
oh,
episode.
guess what happens? The biggest event of this episode.
Is this when she like yells
No,
at him
this
in the
is-
library?
No. That was when they broke up. This is a
the
whole
thing
other
with
thing.
the upload to the interwebs.
I remember.
Yeah.
Okay, I remember.
The previously on for this episode was done by V and Fiona and some drunk in between them in the alibi. Previously on Shameless. We are reminded of what I still maintain is my favorite non-Mandy girlfriend of Lips, Amanda. She dumped him when he started fucking his professor Helene. Goddamn Chucky and his terrible tattoo are back. Ian met all the gay firefighting team, including Caleb. Frank set himself and Debbie up as a cancer concierge for a dying woman and her husband so that Debbie can marry him and set herself up. Giannis lit himself on
Crazy.
fire, and the Gallaghers were evicted and someone bought the house from under them at an auction.
Insane.
Title credits.
The episode me and you, Lena, have secretly been conversating about, is that next episode? Or is that it?
I don't know which one you're talking about.
Involving Nick.
Yes.
Okay, so that's next episode.
I got that from the next up. Yeah, there's gonna be something there.
But you don't know what
I
yet?
don't know what yet.
Oh,
no.
awesome. I love how
Yeah.
unaware you are. That's awesome.
Yeah.
No,
Okay,
because
perfect.
I don't know. I feel like this season has a lot of topics that, like, it's actually getting...
This season has a lot
we'll
going
be able
on.
to have, like, I feel like a lot of good conversations because it's, like, literally your first discourse about this stuff. And, like, me and
Yeah.
Lena have so much, like, boom, boom, boom
Well,
back
that's also
we can
like,
give to you.
okay, they were like, well, it's also like they were trying to be topical.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's juicy. Like, don't get me wrong. I will never say I wasn't entertained by Shameless in the later seasons.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I was definitely entertained.
So we open on white boy Carl ready to throw down to keep the house. Like, he'll kill somebody. He don't fucking care. And Frank is in the process. He's like, well, if we're getting kicked out, I'm pulling all the copper pipes out of the walls. And good for you, Frank. Honestly, go for it.
I love this show because it has happened more than once when they've removed those copper pipes in that house. Like, there's multiple callbacks to that
Or when they've
happening.
threatened to, they're like, we can take out all the
And they're
pipes.
like,
It's
okay.
fine.
They're like, it goes for like 50 cents a gram or something like that. I was just like, shut the fuck up.
Carl says he and Nick will strap themselves with guns and protect the house from the front and the back. Chucky throws a racial slur at Nick, and everyone goes, oh my god, you idiot child, shut the fuck up and go to school. Stop talking. Get the fuck out of here. Go to school.
Because he says something that, like, all of the, like, brainwashed Nazi kids, like, were teaching him in the juvie.
Yeah. And everybody's like, oh, immediately stop talking. Get the fuck out. And Fiona told Lip they didn't need him, because he called, he's like, hey, shall I help? And she says, go focus on school. We don't need your help.
Well, it's like, sure, I will.
Yeah.
Like,
He is very focused on being balls deep inside of his old lady girlfriend.
Damn.
laser focus. He must be on Adderall.
Because speaking of inappropriate relationships, over to Debbie, who is doing her housework nanny thing for the dying woman and the husband she is trying to steal from the dying woman. And Debbie, because she's done this before, is actually very good at getting the kids up and ready and out the door for school. And the mom really does like having her around, but the dad, Henry, from What I Like About You, he says they don't need the teen mom every morning. They are also under the impression that Debbie is 18. And
Yeah. I mean, it's one of those things that they just, like, assumed.
no, she told them.
And then no one corrected. Oh!
Yeah, no, she said
was
I'm
like, oh.
18 because then...
Well, because then the guy wouldn't fuck her if she
Yeah.
wasn't. For sure.
Yeah.
Well, some men are evil.
Yes.
But
He tells her this isn't going to be a long-term gig, but, like, why not? Honestly, even if she wasn't, like, scheming to hook up with him, why not? She's good with the kids. She's cheap. Your wife has cancer and needs help anyway. Like, this is a good deal for all involved.
well, and yeah, and the wife likes Debbie just fine.
Yeah.
She really likes
She
Debbie.
really likes Debbie. Back to Lip and Helene cleaning up after they were throwing each other against bookcases. Books were falling down on them while they fucked. It was a whole thing.
I love a good shameless
intellectuals
fuck
would.
montage.
And now they are cleaning up their sex tornado. And she gives him the book on Klimt, the artist whose paintings he reminds her of. I know that name. Zoe likes Klimt. Do you like Klimt, Lena?
I'm looking at it right now. I know the name, but I'm
The kiss. The gold one. That's Klimt.
Oh, yeah. I like... Yeah. I mean, I guess I don't see how Lip fits in necessarily, but I like Magritte.
Yeah.
I think I would compare Lip
That's
to
the
Magritte.
apple one, right?
Yeah, or the kiss with the sheet over their heads.
That is Zoe's favorite painting ever.
It's one of my favorites ever.
That's so awesome. Hey, I listen. Helene leans in and gives Lip a monumentally dirty kiss, and then she invites him over to her house tonight. And then at the ball house, Carol, who is V's mom, is hosting a Bible study group in their living room. And Kev can't help but pray for his baby girls to be great tennis players, and for Yanis to rest in peace. Still carrying that on his shoulders. And that's why he volunteers himself, and V, evidently, to take in a foster kid for a little while that the church is sponsoring.
Oh, I think I remember this foster kid.
It's many.
Yeah.
Yes,
Andy
okay,
Mack.
I remember. For a second, I was thinking, oh yeah, you're a girl. For a second, I was thinking, the Hispanic kid, but that was later,
that's
wasn't
later.
it? Okay.
No, it's a kid who started on Disney.
They're taking in lots of kids.
I forget her name.
Yeah, I remember this episode. They came from, and then the kids are like handling guns.
Yeah, because they like fought in a war.
There was this thing. They were child soldiers.
Yeah, they're refugees.
So fucked up, by the way. Yeah.
But yeah, Kev feels so guilty for, like, not doing anything about Yanis dying in front of him. And so he, like, needs this to feel better. And then we go back to the Gallagher house. Carl offers to make it rain and get the family set up in a new house. And Fiona, once again, refuses to take Carl's dirty money to get them set up at a place to live. And Frank once again asks her, what the fuck is your problem? You're now just against your own best interest. Like, what are you doing?
I understand, but like y'all about to be homeless.
Yeah.
I can't remember. Yeah, I can't remember though if like there's something with Carl's money though, like it does end up biting him in the ass.
No, it does
having
not.
This like dirty money. It doesn't.
That's
later with the meth.
Him and Sean have a moment that is dealt with.
I remember that, but that's not because of the money.
Money is never a
Yeah.
topic of discussion besides when Carl brings it up. Like, it never becomes an issue for him.
Okay. It becomes an issue in season 8, though. I remember.
And, like, Frank tells her this neighborhood was built around shady businessmen like Carl, and turning down this money is stupid. You have nowhere to live. He's offering you a place to live.
Like, because, like, there's... How many people are going to be homeless? Like, 6?
Yeah.
Girl.
And that's when the family who bought the house comes walking in the front door, because they bought the house. But they honestly did not know that there was still a family living there. It's a lovely family. And they say, we're so sorry, take the week to get your stuff together for the move. And they do seem kind. They seem like a nice family who wanted a good deal on a new house. And they're just like, sorry, we did buy it. Take your time leaving, though. And even Fiona's like, thank you. That is nice of you to give us that time.
But also, I can't believe someone literally buying a house for like over $100,000 and not stepping in foot in it until you bought it.
Yeah.
Huh? You bought
That's a lot,
It's
honestly.
probably because I don't know, their plan was probably to flip it anyway because the whole theme of gentrification.
Honestly, ever since...
Like, they probably... I don't know if they were buying it to live in.
They're buying it to live in it. It's a family that is buying it to live there.
Yeah, it's like a mom, a dad, and like a daughter. But I don't think they ever were like, we are going to live here. Like, I don't think those words are ever said.
No, they went running upstairs to pick out which room
I want
would
the
be
biggest
whose.
room.
Oh,
Yeah, duh, sorry.
And like, dude, buying a house sight unseen, ever since the pandemic, the minute a house goes on the market, there are 15 offers. Like, people are like...
That's just a thing.
Yeah. So Carl threatens to dismember this nice family with a machete. And Ian's like, Carl is kidding, and gets everybody out the door.
They had to give Ian a line. They were like, he needs a line.
Hey,
in this
Ian
scene
lives
because
here.
he's got nothing to do. Yeah, they were like, and Ian's here also.
He was eating breakfast.
That's how I feel every time. Every time he has nothing to do, I'm like, and Ian's also here.
He is also a member
My
of this
friend.
family.
No, that's literally
My
like
friend Ian.
majority of Ian's storyline because like he has a little bit of family.
He comes in and says some fuck ass sassy
Yeah, like-
thing in front of everyone, and it's like, okay,
Yeah.
sure.
He like I feel like all of Ian's like personality is like with Caleb this season versus like with the family.
Everything it always revolves around his boyfriend.
Yeah, they never.
That's
They
the
do
only
not know
way
how
they
to
know
write
how to
him as
write
a
him.
person.
That's the thing. Like after
They made him bipolar.
like they made him it's like either his bipolar or his boyfriend's. Like
Well, that's why
dare
Cam
I
left.
say it. I know, and I'm like, I miss Army Ian.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that that's like a closed door now because of the whole bipolar thing, but it's like, I miss Army Ian. I miss Ian who had friends. Like,
Yeah,
I miss Ian and Lip.
and that might have been
Mostly.
what they're trying to build with this like firefighter paramedic thing journey he goes on of like ambition and a career and community.
No, that is
Yeah.
true. He does kind of go on this whole like finding your purpose
And then
thing,
it-
and he
and
does
then it explodes.
Yeah.
not till later. He gets a couple good seasons.
But explodes
yeah.
literally.
Yep.
But you know about that?
I do know about that.
Okay.
Yeah. There's that deleted scene with Willem in that.
Oh,
t-shirt
yeah.
with- yeah.
Oh my god, yeah,
Willem in the Ian t-shirt.
where he's like dressed as Che Guevara on the shirt or something, and it's like, what the
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It's like Che Guevara style shirt.
Yeah.
It's like
Oh
Ian
my
behind
God.
bars
And my
that
friend
like
Ian
says
is
like
also
free
here.
Ian or something like that.
Yeah,
said
no,
gay
it's just like gay
Jesus.
It's
Jesus
gay
or
Jesus,
something.
yeah.
Gay Jesus.
And he's like, and Mickey's like,
Fucking Gallagher.
that?
Yeah.
like, who is that guy on your shirt? It's really weird. He looks pretty familiar. Is that my friend Ian?
The family goes to look at the bedrooms, and Debbie comes home with tears in her eyes. And she and Fiona get into it again about Debbie's job and staying in school, and oh yeah, the pregnancy. And Fiona's like, we will find a new house before the baby comes, and you're welcome to stay with us, because now you're past the point of abortion. So Fiona pitches adoption. And Frank goes, give a Gallagher away? For free?
Sure.
Call back or future comment.
And Frank tells Debbie they need to speed things up and convince the cancer family that she needs to be on full time. And Frank encourages her to fuck the man to keep him interested. And Frank's like,
Well, that's so funny because it's like, you don't think I haven't been trying.
well, Frank's like, what I'm going to do is find a way to keep the wife out of the house for the whole day so that you have time and opportunity to fuck the grown man so that you can stay in his house. At school, Carl is hitting on Dominique again and again. It's not working. In fact, she seems a little into Nick in this scene. She seems a little like, oh, what's your deal to Nick?
Because he's big and tall.
Yeah. And sweet, he's a gentle giant. At the ball house, Carol brings in a gaggle of children. They are the refugees that Carol's church agreed to take in. Carol is trying to get them all to stay rather than just one. And V is like, are you out of your fucking mind? And Kev is like, I get more karma points per child. All of them can stay here. I get extra karma for all of them staying here.
Because what? How many kids are there?
It's like 6.
There's like 8. Oh, yeah. There's just a lot.
More than one. It's more than one that she already didn't agree to.
Yeah.
At Fiona's job, Sean walks in on her house hunting on her phone in the back office, and we find out that Will is coming to visit Will, his son. And Fiona does seem to be like very encouraging and helpful. She's like, oh my god, Will is coming. That's so exciting. What do you have planned?
Is this the episode where she like spends some time with him
Not
No.
really.
and there's a hoverboard involved?
Not in this one.
No, that's next episode.
Okay, that's later. Okay.
Fiona gets a call from Debbie. The sheriffs are at the house, putting everything out onto the street. Meanwhile, Frank is at the hospital, quote unquote, running into the cancer wife, coincidentally, out of the blue, just running into each other. And he says that the doctors and the insurance companies, they're out to wring you dry and poison you with the chemo drugs. And he asks, are your affairs in order? And she's like, well, no, because my husband thinks I'm going to get better. The husband doesn't even come to the hospital with her, because then it's like, well, then you have cancer. If I go to the hospital with you, you have cancer, and I have to face that. So I will instead stay home and pretend that you're going to be
He
fine.
seems like a
Everything's
bad
fine.
partner. Like, obviously, he's probably like very like overwhelmed with her having cancer and like raising the kids, but I'm like, you're kind of a dick.
Yeah.
Right. Well, it's also like no one is surprised about Frank taking advantage of vulnerable people, but damn, Frank is taking advantage of vulnerable people.
Yeah.
Like,
Absolutely.
Yeah. And Frank's like, well, I'm certified in end-of-life preparations, and I'll give you a free trial run today to help get your house in order. But, like, you know what's weird is throughout this episode, he is being very weirdly helpful. Like, he is actually...
he's been through it.
Like, he's
been through
actually
it,
helping her
I'm
secure
sure.
things that help with end-of-life care. Like, it's...
Yeah, I mean, like, well, Bianca, like, I mean, he didn't really do that much with end-of-life care necessarily, but it's like, I'm sure he's been down this road before. Like, this cannot be the first time that he's done this, like, scam.
Yeah.
Essentially.
It's just strange when his scam is also, like, genuinely a little helpful.
Like, not a
when
scam.
Remember when he killed that lady doing crack with her on the trains? Like,
Oh, yeah, remember how he killed a woman?
yeah, he literally killed a woman trying to recreate that shit.
She can't be his first.
God.
Do you remember when he the pager with the lady in the heart transplant?
Oh my
and they
god,
had sex
Butterface.
Yeah.
with Butterface.
God.
Come on,
Horrible.
like this is not his
It's
first
not
rodeo.
kill.
He's a killer.
And then he didn't even get the damn house, and he murdered that woman.
Ugh.
Yeah.
The show
Anyway,
sucks.
Or what was it? Her pension money?
Yeah.
'Cause she was a city employee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Fiona gets to the Gallagher house, and she and Debbie they come to a momentary truce. They're like, Fiona thanks Debbie for calling her. She's like, I'm still a Gallagher. Like, but when it comes down to it, I'm gonna call you when the fucking sheriffs are at the house.
I'm
and
sick of
once-
them using their last name as an excuse.
Yeah.
I'm a Gallagher. I'm a
It's a
Gallagher.
Gallagher
Shut the
thing.
hell up. Who cares?
Shut up. Your family sucks.
And once again, I'm gonna complain about the pacing of these episodes throughout the whole season. I hate it. Every scene is so short, and it
No,
feels like they don't have
I
any
think-
substance.
I think that's why I remember the most of this season, because it keeps my attention span. A scene,
'Cause it's
yeah,
short,
a
it
scene
keeps
don't
changing
go
scenes.
too long.
But it's like I so preferred when they had like 5-minute long substantive scenes.
They didn't
I
have
know,
a
it's
good
because,
enough
well, I'm looking at
writers.
what scene it transitions to. It's because they just like to throw a little bit in there.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, let's do a little comedy moment to break it up. And it's like, I don't actually need that.
Yeah. The show was funny when you had like when it was naturally
Long
funny.
scenes.
Yeah.
Long scenes with comedy in the scenes, or there would be comedy in the dialogue or whatever.
I
Yeah.
don't know how to transition
like-
too.
And then, I don't know, throwing stuff in for shock value is always kind of like my pet peeve.
Yeah.
Sometimes, like stuff like this. Well, they've done scenes like this before, but it's like, that's the thing, is it's like they've done scenes like this before. It feels like well-worn territory.
No,
you
I
know,
definitely
popping,
said
dropping.
like I'm sick of them saying it's a Gallagher thing, because it's not. It's,
Yeah.
it's in their
well, not just that,
vocabulary.
but this next scene where it's supposed to break up like the tension because it's like funny, like, okay, like the casket shopping.
We've
where it's
seen
like,
them
oh,
casket shop before when Frank
right,
was
exactly,
faking his
where
own
they've
death.
gotten into the caskets before, and it's like, oh, look at that, like they're being so crazy and like not socially acceptable, and it's like,
We
okay,
did
We've
this
literally
already.
used this set before. Like we've done this.
right, like I'm like, I don't need this isn't making me laugh because it's not like new.
Yeah. But yeah, Frank is casket shopping with the cancer wife, and he's even trying to upsell her on the Cadillac of caskets because he's getting a kickback from the casket guy with recommending the more expensive one. And then we go back to the family being literally thrown out onto the street. Sean is helping how he can. He shows up, he's like, I'm gonna go get boxes so that we can at least put your shit into boxes.
Love you, Sean.
And then Kevin V they're like, keep all of your stuff in our house. Like, it's 2 doors down. Pack your shit up, move it into our house. And, like, except for the furniture. The furniture's going to stay in the yard, and it'll be good until it rains. Like,
Because like
they're
didn't
doing all they
say
can.
they had like way longer of a time until they were supposed to get kicked out.
That's what Fiona asks the guy kicking them out. She's like, the family who bought the house said we had a week. And the guy's like, the bank owns the house. So the bank says, get the fuck out.
But if they already bought it though, that makes no sense.
Well, they didn't
Yeah,
buy it.
but I
They
guess
have a
it's
loan
still-
that the bank owns.
Yeah. It's still in process,
Yeah. Inside the house, Ian and Lip are like, they're taking apart their room, and Lip offers Ian
Heartbreak.
a place to stay at his dorm. He's like, hey, now that you have no other choice, you actually can crash at my dorm room. Please, I'll leave you a key. Come and stay.
Well, and I feel like Ian's like, oh, thank you. Like, fuck you, actually, but I will be taking that key.
Ian gives him shit about the old woman that he's fucking. Lip says Helene's 40. Ian, you have no room to talk at all.
Oh yeah, Mr. Old Ass Boyfriend Ned's Ned.
Yeah,
Ned.
Cash, and Jimmy's dad. Shut your mouth, Ian.
Like, come on, girl.
And Ian's like, thank you, I will come by the dorm after the firefighters barbecue.
Ian's like, I was crazy back then.
He brags about all the fun places he's fucked people, and then he accepts the key to Lip's dorm, and they, just like Debbie and Fiona had a moment earlier, Ian and Lip have come to a temporary truce.
How many of those places are places with Mickey that we know of? Bleachers?
Yeah.
Bleachers
Does he
is
mention the
Mickey
bleachers?
underneath the bleachers.
Back room of Cash's
Yeah,
store?
With
Dugout.
So Cash
Dugout.
and Mickey would be back of the Cash
Yeah.
and Grab. Dugout is Mickey. Bleachers is Mickey.
What else does he say? Stuff with the club?
Oh yeah, definitely
Club
the
is
club.
just
maybe.
club men, old men.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a little wild guy.
He's
He's a,
fascinating.
what is it, voyeurism?
Well, and then he was
Exhibition.
sexually manic.
Exhibitionist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Downstairs, V opens her home to Fiona and the family, and Debbie says that she's gonna ask the family that she's nannying for a place to stay. And V's like, okay, then we could take Carl. And then he makes one too many like I have a big black dick jokes to V, a black woman. And she's like, I changed your diapers, and I know there isn't a big fucking black dick down there. And she gets in his face about his black scent. She's like, yeah, fucking read him, V. Good for you. And then Sean has to leave to get his son, and he tells Fiona, come stay at my place. And Fiona goes, oh, that's great. I think we can all fit there. And like, pause, girly pop. He said you. He said you can come. He didn't say, please
Doesn't
move
he-
your
he's
family
like-
into
he's
my
like,
home.
He's like, oh, he's like, you can, like, Liam can come.
Yeah.
But he
Because
was like
Liam is
not
a
Carl and his
Baby
friend.
and like can't figure out anything else for himself. But the other kids should be old enough to figure something out.
Yeah, he even says that he's like, it sounds like Debbie and Carl are set. Liam is, of course, welcome, but like, that's it. I didn't invite your whole family.
And she's like, what the fuck?
And she's like taken back. Like, girl.
She gets like mad.
And Sean says that Carl is 100% not invited because he's been to juvie. He carries a piece, and Sean's kid is there.
And
no.
also, Sean's still
Well,
on
is
fucking
Sean
parole.
not on probation?
Or probation
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah, I was like
He's still seeing
because
his,
Fiona could
like...
be like, well, you've been to jail,
Yeah.
and he's like, yeah, and I don't have a fucking gun.
Yeah.
And, like,
And
even
Carl-
though, like, he
drugs in the
doesn't know
house.
Carl is doing guns instead of drugs, like, he can't have someone who's dealing anything living in his
Yeah.
house.
I know if this was
Right,
still...
it's like for all he knows, Carl is also dealing
Yeah, no, it
drugs.
doesn't matter what he knows
Like-
or not. He knows he's doing something and making a shit ton of money.
For sure, if this was still seasons like 1 and 2 and Debbie and Carl were like 9,
Oh,
I'm
absolutely.
sure that Sean would be like, of course, bring your children to
Right,
stay
but
with
also-
us. Yeah.
Right, but also Debbie wouldn't be pregnant and Carl would not be dealing
Literally.
drugs. Like they would be regular ass children like Liam.
I am on Sean's side here. He's correct.
No, completely.
Especially his child. His child's there.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Frank brings Cancer Wife to the alibi, where Svet is holding it down, looking hot as fuck, as usual. And the Cancer Wife starts smoking weed from a vape, and Frank calls her hot and talks about what outfit she should wear in her casket. And then he pitches her, hey, as a bucket list item, you want to do some coke? She's like, I've snorted coke.
No,
He's like, well-
no, the way
She's crazy.
No, I want to make a comment about like when she hits her pen. Like she hits her pen, and then like he sniffs it, and he's like taken back. He's like, oh, okay. He's like, I didn't take you up for a
Weed?
smoker, and she's like, oh, this little thing, it's medical, and like all this, and then she talks about how she was a smoker and stuff, and then that's when he offers her the coke thing. But like he's starting to like genuinely like her, like not even like
Yeah.
scheming wise. He's like, oh, okay, this girl might be on my level. I don't know. It's like I don't know. Like you guys brought it up earlier. Like Homeboy's like really endearing in these last couple of episodes. Like he's doing a lot for people, and like
He's
just
fun.
being a good
Well,
guy.
it's like-
and I'm like, what?
As long as you don't rely on Frank for anything, he can be kind of a fun
Yeah.
friend.
Yeah. And
Like he knows how to party.
yeah, and like
As long as you don't
Bianca-
rely on him and you don't give him the opportunity to steal from you.
And like all Bianca wanted from him was a fun time. She's like, I'm on my way out the door. Let's
Yeah,
have
she
a
was
fucking
like, I wouldn't
riot.
be talking
Yeah.
to you right now unless I was dying, so I'm gonna make the most of it.
And like Frank pitches heroin to Cancer Wife. She's also done it. You're right. He likes her.
Mm-hmm.
It's like this chick can hang. Like, okay.
She's like been there, done that, and she said she was like a roadie for some like just like old like metal band or like hair band basically, and she was saying like she slept with like all the members of like it's like a famous band. She was like I slept with like all.
I think I wrote it down later.
I want to say Motley Crue, but I feel like I'm wrong. And I feel like it'd be hard to find that.
It's Guns N' Roses. It's Guns N' Roses.
Guns N' Roses.
Yeah. It comes up later.
She dated Melissa.
Well, yeah. Hold on. All right, so.
Okay, yeah.
Where was I? He likes her. Great. Lip brings the last of the stuff out of the house, and he and Fiona start to like commiserate. Like, hey, why does this shit always happen to us? And
well, I'm not gonna lie. The rent deal with Patrick was a Band-Aid on a bullet wound.
Yeah.
Like, that was not going to last forever, especially once he figured out that he didn't have to pay the rent or the mortgage
because he doesn't get the repercussions.
Right, like nothing would happen to him.
I am happy that the writers remembered that and like brought it back as a plot device.
Right, they were like, what would happen if they lost their house? Yeah. Like, ooh.
Now Fiona and Kev pitched like them staying in the room above the alibi for a little while, which Svet is currently living in.
She's like, fuck no.
Yeah. And then Lip tries to bring Fiona around to the idea of Debbie being a mom, and then tells Fiona, Debbie helped raise Liam, everyone else is old enough to look after themselves, like, maybe it'll be okay. And then we find out Fiona got too busy to have her own abortion. So she is still with child, Fiona.
Right, like, clock's ticking, girl.
And then the sheriff comes out and says they're locking up the house, and Fiona's like, hey, can I have another minute? And go and look around. And, like, as someone who recently moved out of my childhood home, this scene got me. It really did. Like, her walking around the empty house, and, like, the moment where she finds their height markers on the wall, like, it got me.
It's like the closet door or something.
Like the closet under the stairs.
Like, I remember I took so many pictures of that door jamb in my old house, like, where my mom had marked our like, growth throughout our lives. Huh. It hurt. That was like this. I get it. Like, they
what
totally
a good
get
detail.
It. Yeah.
Set dressers. What a fantastic detail. Yeah. Like I don't know if that was there. If that was, it was probably written into the script. But well, no, I feel like they probably
it's probably been there on the set. Yeah.
The set department did it, and then the writers, knowing what the set looks like, wrote that in. What a great detail.
Good. It's so good. And then we over to Nick and Carl. They're rolling up on a fancy building. There's been a lot of focus on Nick and his bike lock in this episode, and it was making me afraid, and I didn't like it.
Foreshadowing.
And this building is their new place, or the one that they're looking at. Meanwhile,
just
Debbie
like a high-rise apartment. Nothing crazy, but expensive apartment, obviously.
Meanwhile, Debbie all but broke into the Cancer family's house. She made the husband a drink. She tries to give him a massage, but he does not have interest in the child who is hitting on him.
Also, she's not a good flirt. Sorry. Yeah.
And like
she's too aggressive with it.
And good for him. He's like, hey, even if you are 18, you don't look like you are, and that's upsetting. And I'm a dad.
And that's weird. Yeah. Sorry.
Back to the alibi. Frank and Cancer Wife, they're shooting pool. They're commiserating about their sex, drug, and rock and roll past. She says she was once used as a rotisserie by 2 members of Guns N' Roses.
What a baddie.
And he asked why she left it behind. And she said she wanted the adventure of a family, even after she had had a long-term relationship with Melissa Etheridge.
That's crazy.
So, like, she's fruity. She's a fruity girlie.
Not me and you both highlighting that at the same time.
She's
I wanted to see
famously a lesbian musician.
No, I know.
I'm Googling her.
What I wanted to look up was, I'm like, do you think they had to get permission
to say that?
No.
Yeah.
I think if you know if it is known to be a fictional television show, I don't think you have to have permission to like make stuff up about celebrities.
That's true.
I feel
or
like
also
they definitely
if she's
name
known
dropped
to be
the
a lesbian,
celebrity
because
before.
I feel like if it was a celebrity that was not out, well, even then, if it's a fictional show, but I'm like,
if it was like The Daily Show, they might get in trouble for that joke, but it's
right. I'm like, do you think they had to like work around some?
Yeah, like a talk show, news, informational type of show I feel like would get flamed, but
Yeah.
like this is Shameless, where we've watched people do
Right there,
crack.
people were like, we DGAF.
Schitt's Creek, Alexis said that she's dated like so many celebrities, and I think you can just do that in comedy shows.
But that's like yeah, but I guess it gets different when it becomes about like outing, if it's a celebrity that's like not out. But Melissa Etheridge is out, so it's like this whole
I
thing.
feel like that.
Famously a
I think
lesbian,
that's like
yeah.
the funny part is like
yeah. It's like this whole
this
thing,
like
this whole
woman
conversation
married to a
doesn't even
man
matter,
like
but
had dated her, a known lesbian.
right, it would be like, are they saying something about right?
So Frank tries to get her for a bathroom quickie, but she's like, "Hi, I'm not that drunk, actually." And we go back over to Carl, who's black scenting all over this realtor. She's not buying it. Again, just quick cut and then away again. Then we jump to Lip's dorm. Amanda is stopping by while Lip is getting ready for his shower, like walking out into the hallway in his towel. And she asks to come in and take pictures of the painting she did on his wall for her portfolio, the Naked Lady painting.
I don't even think she's not an art student.
I think she is.
No, it doesn't.
No, I think she's not an art student. She just does
she's
art.
Not.
I think she
just does art. She's not.
Maybe it's a minor.
She makes like a whole point of
be.
why she makes art. She's like, I feel like I read this thing that blah 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 blah. Like she's very super like I don't know. She's a reason why she's making art or something.
But she told him she has a new boyfriend who's directly above Lip's dorm. And she's like, I'm not here to fucking flirt with you or whatever. My painting is on your wall. I want to get pictures of this. And so he's like, okay, fine. And he steps out to take a shower. And then his phone goes off. And Amanda checks it. Uh-oh.
I know Lip is unplugged, but like, why would he leave it?
He's going to get a shower. But
you don't want music in the shower, girl? Like, also he's an RA, so it's like, what if
The
someone
last time
calls
I
you,
took
I
a
guess?
quiet shower, don't even talk to me.
Mm-hmm. But I guess it's different when it's like a public dorm shower.
True. Plus, Lip is also pretty unplugged.
Yeah.
Like
I feel like it's more likely to get stolen in the locker room than if you leave it in your room, I guess.
that's true.
Back
also,
to Carl
Amanda's
and
a crazy
Nick.
cunt. Like, he should know better.
Back to Carl and Nick. They step out of the fancy building and Nick's bike has been stolen. My little guy. I feel so sad for him. Like, he's so upset. And Carl is so upset for him. Like, it's devastating. And
he loved that bike.
I know! It meant so much
It was
to
all
him.
he wanted.
That's all.
He was a nice
wanted.
guy. He didn't do anything. Oh. Kev brings the family to the alibi, and Svet tells him that Frank was the only customer all day. And Fiona says she needs to stay with Svet, who is renting the room upstairs. Svet's like, fuck you, I have a contract. No, you can't just kick me out of my apartment.
She's like, I pay rent, the fuck?
Yeah. She's like, I'm not okay with you staying with me. And Svet's like, get a fucking hotel. You can't afford it? Open your legs and start making your own fucking money, Fiona.
I know, and she's like, you want me to do the rub?
And Fiona's like, I would never.
Yeah.
Like,
I know, and she's like, whoa, you think I'm
they've
less?
had beef about that before.
Yeah.
Right? Like, they've had beef about that before where Svet's like, oh, you look down on me because I've done sex work.
Yeah. At least I can afford my own fucking apartment.
But, like, if I'm being honest, I feel like when Fiona was dating all those rich guys and lying about things, like, even though she wasn't doing anything, she was just doing it for her own benefit, she was kind of doing that. Even though it wasn't, like, official.
She was kind of doing escort stuff for a while. She was doing escort stuff, like, back in season 2 or whatever.
Yeah, she was getting, like, rides in nice cars and nice dresses and stuff like that. Like, babe, that's what that is.
Right, it was just because she, like, didn't have to have sex with them, but she
Who was
usually
her
had sex with
blonde
them anyway,
friend?
because they were usually pretty cute guys.
Yeah.
Who was
Yeah,
her
like
blonde friend who was in love with her?
Naomi?
No, Naomi's later in the series. The blonde girl who, like, has the boat.
Yeah, I forget her name.
No, I
But
know.
it's one
I
of the
know
school
who you're
moms.
talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But her, I'm thinking about, like, that era of things.
No, yeah, same.
Okay.
Anyways.
And so I love Svet's like, yeah, I'm gonna read you down, bitch. No, you can't stay in my fucking apartment and go peddle yourself and get your own fucking money. Get the fuck out of my face. And she's so right for that.
Yeah.
Ian rolls up to the gay firefighters barbecue and we are treated
let's
to a
go. I forgot about the baseball.
A cringeworthy bit about baseball positions and misunderstanding, like sexual dialogue.
He goes,
He asks if Ian pitches.
and
Ian's like, yeah, usually.
It's like, Christ, Ian.
Yeah.
Also, yeah, usually, but like him bottoming for the first time is like a plot point in season
No,
8.
Yeah.
literally.
No, I hated this. I hated it so much.
I have a whole nother thing I can talk about. That discourse thing. Don't even get me started.
And then we find out they're actually playing softball. It's the cops versus firefighters softball game.
Oh wait, I need
And-
to actually talk about this.
Caleb asks Ian to cover second base while they play the gay cops team. And Tony the cop is one of those gay cops. He's like, your sister, she turned me gay.
He's like, Ian? Tony? And he goes like, I didn't know you came out. And he goes, yeah, your sister turned me gay.
Turn me gay. It's like, he's crazy for that because
You were obsessed
She
with
did.
her.
No,
Obsessed
literally.
well, it's
Truly.
also like that beautiful woman,
Yeah.
that goddess of a woman. She's the type of woman that turns gay guys
Well,
straight.
honestly, the amount of shit she did to him, I get it.
Well, if it's like a heartbreak thing, but I'm like, you can't sit here and act like you weren't like attracted to her.
Yeah. Also,
Tony,
wasn't he
come
like with a
on.
woman? Like when Jimmy Steve?
After Fiona.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He like dates
Yeah.
this girl because he's like, oh, I took
Yeah,
her
he does.
instead.
He dates a girl. Yeah.
The writers forgot about that.
Well, they were like, let's be funny.
Back to Cancer Family's house. Debbie accidentally walks in on the husband in the shower and confronts him about the fact that his wife is dying, like it or not, and he needs the help that Debbie provides. And she's right. Like, she's right for the wrong reasons, but she's right. And then we cut to Lip at school, who's going to the library, where he sees on every computer in the library the naked picture he took of Helene all over Twitter. It's her with her titties out right underneath the painting on his dorm room wall. It's everywhere. Everyone on campus has seen it. And then we cut away. Again, fucking hate the pacing. I wrote here, my two favorite things are gay people in baseball games. These scenes were so rough.
I know. I was like, I feel like that's your whole brand, Amanda.
Yeah.
Just gay people in baseball. That's literally the start of every single episode. Whenever I come to your house.
Oh my god, so the Phillies have these overalls that got released this year that were like literally just overalls.
I saw a photo.
Yeah, I was wearing my powder blue overalls. I got powder blue overalls for
No, that's so
Christmas. It was
cute.
so exciting.
Oh, just speaking of Christmas, Zoe texted me the other day and she just was like, oh, by the way, you're in my family's calendar and in our Christmas card this year. And I was like, that's awesome. I literally was like, I'm so proud to be a part of your family. Like, I'm in their
That's so
family
funny,
calendar.
actually.
That's awesome.
Yeah, you're in our newsletter and you're in Zoe's calendar. You're on her calendar like
that
3
makes
times.
me feel so special. Like, my family doesn't do that shit. And I'm like, look at my other family over here. I get their family's Christmas
is
card every
so
year.
funny.
Oh my god, I get all your personal. That's my second home.
And it's 1 hour away from you.
No, literally, we live an hour away from each other. I saw you guys a lot this year, like 3
You did,
times.
yeah.
I
Because
think
once we figured out how fucking close you were.
I just hopped on a train. I said, "Hey."
Like, what's up?
So I texted Lena a couple weeks ago, and I said, "I'm planning to meet her next year."
You have to
Oh
make it
yeah,
happen.
I need to come to Maryland or something. Or honestly, I was like, maybe we just both go to Philly.
Yeah, just meet in the
and
middle.
rendezvous.
Woo, woo, woo.
hmm
So we cut to Lip at school. Sorry.
Ugh.
Helene, naked, everywhere, on all the things. And then gay people in baseball. These scenes are rough. Because Ian, baby, what are we doing? You don't know how to play second base? Catch the ball, tag the bag. It's not hard.
I think he does, but then they get into a fight about if he's safe or not.
Yeah, well, the cop
Guy's like, no, I
slides
am.
in.
And
into
then
him.
they raise their
Yeah.
voices slightly, and Ian's like, "Oh, all right, let's go."
Ian's like, oh, so we're fighting
'Cause
now.
he throws the first
So we're
punch.
beating each other's asses now.
bench
Okay.
clearing brawl.
It's
And
awesome.
then-
They're bloody. They're sexy. Just a bunch of gay men fighting each other.
It's Ian's favorite thing.
No, literally. Probably hard as a rock.
Nick and Carl have a quick scene where Carl promises to buy Nick a new bike, and Nick says he needs to go and get his gun. This could have been a part of the scene where he discovered the lock. It could have been an actual significant emotional moment, but we just gonna like blip 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 like blop 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 along in this episode.
Yeah, I'm looking like, who? Like, I'm like, did the script look like this, or did this get edited this way?
Yeah. Why is it
But I
like
feel like
this?
every scene is a different location. Like, I feel like they had so many, like, different sets for this episode. or
Yeah.
like I don't know, like
This
outside,
whole season
whatever.
has been like this. It's been so choppy and irritating.
I don't know. Could there be a reason why, as in like maybe their filming schedule like in Chicago versus filming on a lot probably were very different, or
No,
like circumstances were probably weird?
I think Lena was right. I think they're trying to insert comedy buttons throughout the episode rather than giving the show the emotional weight that they used to.
Or construct the scenes in a way where there can be beats of comedy in a serious scene.
Yeah.
That's because they lost the British touch.
Yeah.
I'll say it.
Yeah, it got
Like
too American.
that's a marker of like British comedy is like heavy dialogue.
And let it sit. Let it simmer.
Yeah. That's why people ate Succession the fuck up.
Yeah.
It had the British touch.
Mm-hmm.
Back to Fiona, who's at work, where the other waitress is giving her shit, like, wow, I didn't know we could all take 4-hour breaks. Fiona's like, yeah,
She's
I got
so right
fucking...
for that.
But Fiona's like, I got fucking evicted from my house. And, like, even that coworker who hates Fiona for valid reasons is like, oh, okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry about that comment. And then she agrees to call her cousin who owns apartment buildings so that she can try to find a place for Fiona and Liam to crash. And then over to V, who is hiding all of the weapons her tiny refugees had on them. And then she's like, okay, everybody get in the tub. We have to clean you all up. And she's giving them all little kid baths in the tub. And then back to school. Again, like, blah, blah, blah. Like, we're just bouncing back and forth. Back to school. Lip confronts Amanda about tweeting that picture of Helene, but Amanda is not sorry. And Lip screams, I never made any promises to you. And Amanda says, yes, you did, with your eyes and your smile and your cock.
Because aren't they in public at this point?
She's insane.
They're
I
in the
feel like they're just
library.
standing outside.
They're in her boyfriend's dorm room.
Oh.
Yeah. But like, you made promises
She's
with your
insane.
eyes and your smile and your cock. She's a crazy girl and I love her. She's insane.
I think she's like, I don't like her like at all. I want to like beat her up.
She's like,
I love her, but I also want to beat her.
she's more crazy than, she's about the same amount of crazy as Karen, but in a much less irritating way.
No, because like my whole
I
thing is
forgot
just
about
like she
Karen.
can be crazy.
No, I kind of loved Karen.
No, Karen had every excuse to be the way she did. I'm sorry.
Karen like made me sad.
Yeah.
I was able to have more sympathy.
Because I'm also like, oh, she had like serious daddy
Yeah,
issues and she was so young, and to have a mother who like couldn't even go outside, or like she had to be the mother to her mother, it's like, oh.
Yeah, like you could sympathize with Karen, but like Amanda, you're just like, you were given such a great life and you are just being such a bitch at all the time. Like even when like Lip visited her in Miami, she's like, yeah, like this is a shitty house, like my dad, blah blah blah. And I'm like, you have a private driver. You have a house in Miami. Like shut the hell up.
I remember she says at one point she kind of like resents her parents for adopting her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because she feels like she has to like live under a different set of standards.
I don't know. I just love a girly pop causing chaos, and that is why you should both watch Saltburn.
Don't get me wrong. She is entertaining.
Oh, I've been meaning to.
It's so fucked up in such a girly pop way. It's so good. It's set in 2006, so it's a period piece. It's so good. So yeah, I love Amanda. She's crazy. And then we return to the ball house. V takes the last child who needs to get cleaned up, and she's like, take off your top. And she's like, oh, so you're not a boy.
So I will shout out this character. So this is, I like Googled her. She was in the like Disney show Andy Mack. I never watched it, but I remember hearing about it because it was one of those shows that like talked about how they dealt with a lot of like really interesting topics and like young gay characters and like situations with like parent loss. I don't know. I watched a lot of clips and it touched on like a lot of heavy subjects that like you didn't expect for a Disney show, but it ran for 7 seasons. And her name is Peyton Elizabeth Lee. She is so cute. She's the cutest person you could ever like see in the entire world. But yeah, I just wanted to give her a shout out because I remember watching the show again, being like, "Oh, that's the girl who's on Disney." But
oh, that rocks.
Didn't that show get canceled because there was something of like?
I'm sure 1 million
Someone was-
moms got mad.
No, it wasn't that. It was like someone was being creepy to the underage actors. But I don't know
I
who
don't
it was.
remember. It ran for
I read some article
a
on
good
it.
couple of seasons, though.
Find any television show about small children and somebody is being creepy to them.
There's someone behind the scenes being creepy for sure. Yeah, I read some article about it. And then maybe that wasn't the main reason it got canceled, but that was like a well-known
Asher Angel was in
thing.
that show. That's why he was famous. The guy from Shazam. I didn't realize he was in that show either.
Oh.
The Shazam in Shazam. That kid.
Yeah. We return to the Ball's house. Yeah. So it's a girl. And she's like, okay. And then she goes to grab, like, they now have boxes of the Gallagher's clothes. So she goes and grabs, like, some of Debbie's clothes to, like, pretty this girl up.
Oh,
and then,
when she goes pink or blue. The way she says it is just, like, so cute. I love V.
She's a mother. She would be the mother of a trans child in the best way. Like, ally. Pink or blue, girly? Which one do you want? It's so funny. In this next scene, Chucky goes walking up to the eviction notice on the house because I also forgot Chucky was there.
Yeah, homeboy was
right,
at school.
It's like, oh my god. Okay. This is not the end of Chucky. We see him again.
No, we see him in like 2 episodes.
It's funny. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh.
It's funny.
It's really funny.
So yeah, he comes up to the Gallagher's now locked house because every single person who lived there forgot he was there. And then we go to Helene's office where somebody has taped the picture to her door and she doesn't answer the door for him. And then we join Debbie. She and Frank talk about Debbie successfully convincing the dad to let her stay. And then he celebrates with her. He's like, okay, and then this is the plan. At this time, you go to bed, and then you wait for them to go to bed, and then you help me sneak in the window, and I sleep on your floor, and then I'll leave in the morning. And Debbie's like, yeah, sounds great. You got it, Dad.
Stop it.
Yeah.
Stop it.
It stops him in his tracks, because, like, when was the last time one of them called him Dad? She was definitely the last one to call him Dad, too.
Oh, yeah, she's the only one for a while.
Well, I mean, Liam, like, just doesn't talk, but Liam continues it for a while.
But, like, Carl definitely stopped before Debbie did.
Carl stopped after something in season 4,
after cancer?
I think. After liver.
Yeah.
Because when liver, he was like, oh, Frank might actually die. But then after, I think probably after he got taken away for the drugs in season 5, after Frank called in that tip, he was like, nope, you're dead to me.
Yeah.
Like...
Then we join Ian at the baseball field. They're having post-game drinks, and one of the firefighters asks Ian, so when are you going to take the test to join the department? And Caleb encourages it. You just met. Caleb encourages it and is pissed off when Ian says, like, I was really kind of here to fuck you. That's why I came to this. And Caleb has to spell out that he would like to go on a date.
Caleb, like, asks almost offended, and I'm like, you can't, like, be flirting with someone.
I hate Caleb. I hate him immediately.
First of all,
you're not gonna like him
Caleb
anymore.
encouraging that Ian join his workplace and then be like, well, I'm mad that you wouldn't ask me out on a date that you just wanted to fuck. It's like, well, I don't think that you should be dating a guy while you're like, well, like if you want him to join your workplace, like, because it would be one thing if he already worked there and you were like, oh, maybe we should date, but for you to be like, I want to mentor you into joining the force and whatever, and also date, it's like, it's like there's kind of a weird power dynamic happening there, for sure.
I thought this line that they gave Ian was mean, like with flowers and chocolate and shit. Like, it just reminded me of Mickey and it made me sad.
Yeah, like, obviously he doesn't mean to come off that way, but, like, homeboy's never been taken on a date. He's been fucked in the back of a grocery store, like...
But like,
also it's like,
when
he
Ian
didn't
was taken
hate
away,
it that way,
they were about to go on a
necessarily.
Sizzler date, like with dinner and shit.
Yeah.
Ugh.
There was progress going on, but it's like, no. Oh, yeah, on a real date with, like, silverware and shit. Yeah, I forgot about that.
He's, like, wearing, like, a dress shirt or, like, a nice shirt is what he says.
It felt mean. It just felt mean.
That is mean.
Yeah.
That is mean because it is like, what? So he never did that for you?
Yeah.
Like, it's like, well, there was,
He did nurse you back to health when you were on a manic depressive spiral. He did do that.
Everyone always brought up, like, around the time when this aired, everyone was always like, well, what about that one night when they made, like, he made him pizza rolls and they watched
the
fucking
movie
Steven Seagal movies. It's like, so you're saying that wasn't a romantic date? It's like, well...
The sleepover was a date.
But to be fair, they were
they
two
beat.
like 16 or 17-year-old boys.
Yeah.
So
that's
about
how
as
you
romantic
date.
as it gets.
So I hate Caleb already. So that's where I am.
Caleb, the problem with Caleb is that he
sucks.
I understand that they have different upbringings, like all this stuff, but he's really condescending.
And he's overconfident that it comes off as like
he's
bitchy.
Yeah, that's what I get from this.
He's like
really condescending.
I'm so open and free and happy and cool. Like, why don't you feel like he's just mad that Ian
and
doesn't
he kind of
feel
he
like
kind
he
of
does.
Well, he kind of treats Ian as
lesser.
like
a project.
Yeah, well, lesser, but also like a project, like embarrassing. Like he needs to train him.
Yeah.
Almost like, and Ian does like just coming off of
some shit happens with them when Ian has to go to the doctor, and like the way Caleb deals with the situation, I'm like, you just like don't know how to conversate with people. It ends up being a beautiful
I don't remember
moment when they both talk about their two things they have not brought up to each other.
Yes, I was gonna bring that up, but yeah,
because I don't want to spoil that for Amanda because she doesn't know.
Yeah, but he does kind of. I'm remembering the scene where he like takes him to the wedding.
Oh my god, shut up! And uses him. He's using Ian as a prop.
He uses him, yeah, and it's like, and Ian just kind of like he's
up,
mad about it
but
at
then
first,
he like realizes.
But then he kind of just lets it happen because I think that he thinks he's being made better by Caleb.
But he does. It comes off condescending. Like this whole
like Ian,
date thing
right?
is so condescending.
But then I'm like, oh, Ian is so like insecure and so like has spent a couple years with like this lack of personal identity because it's like, you know, his complete world is thrown into upheaval with this diagnosis and the manic episode, and then he spent a lot of the time being in like a serious relationship. Like this is kind of his first moment of like really understanding who he is outside of ROTC, outside of, you know, his perceptions of himself. Me getting really deep into my best friend Ian, but
it's like when you have to think about it, because it's just like this is like one of his first serious relationships with a character that like we've never interacted with before.
That has no clue, that didn't know him growing up,
like that has no relation to
is.
anyone else he knows, because like even like Jimmy's dad and shit like that, like it was Jimmy's dad,
knows him for him instead of knows him through his reputation and like who his family is. And I think he's like insecure about that, and I think he just kind of lets himself get molded.
Yeah. And then it blows up, and you get to see that happen.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a while. It takes a while, quite a while,
like a whole season, a whole season.
Where I stand right now is I don't like him. I don't like him. Boo. I also think it is a disservice that he's one of like 3 black characters on the show, and like
no, literally, it's like
dislike him.
They just write them like so. I don't know. It just makes me irritated.
4 or 5, including Carol. Yeah. So Lip goes to Helene's house. Her husband did not go away on the trip he was going to go away on, and he's cutting Lip off. He's shutting the door in his face. And he's like, Helene is being brought before a disciplinary board about this. And then Fiona turns up on Sean's doorstep with Liam, and Sean gives her a hard time, but ultimately lets her and Liam into the apartment, where Will is sitting there. And Fiona's like, hey, what's up, Will?
Also, they recasted Will's like actor.
Sometimes child actors forget
from the
how
last
to act.
From the last season. This is a different Will.
Oh my god. Will is kind of funny because he's just like silent a lot of the time, and he just kind of looks at them like this.
He's like always just like hiding. But this is like, I think this actor is who like is like the only Will for like the end, but obviously for other reasons. But
well, yeah, because there's
back to college. Lip and Ewens talk about the Helene situation. Ewens is like, "Oh my god, that was you," and like is kind of jealous and actually
he's like, "Damn, all right."
It's like, Lip, do you want to go get fucked up? Actually, and then we go to the ball house, like just bopping around. Carl and Lip come to get their stuff. Carl and Nick come to get their stuff. Nick's gun is jammed, and he and Carl can't get it, but one of the refugee kids takes it and takes the gun apart.
He snaps because like they don't like speak English at all, so he's just like he literally just like holds his hand out and he's like, it's so good. He's so good.
Back to college again. Lip comes home late. Ian is asleep in his bed. He looks through the art book that Helene gave him, and he is a sad, sad, sad man. And then
oh, how sweet.
And then we go to the cancer
Sharing
house.
a bed.
Debbie
the
gets
cancer
a late
house.
Night.
Oh my god. Is that what you've
Debbie
been calling it this whole episode without me noticing?
Yes. Cancer house, cancer wife, cancer husband, cancer house. Cancer House, Debbie gets a late night visitor, and like you see like that somebody is crawling into her bed, and you're like, oh, she's been flirting with the dad the whole episode. It's clearly the dad. She turns over. Nope, it's the mom.
I just want to note that Amanda's
Is Frank in there?
Not
Is
yet.
he on the floor?
No, I think he's still.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think he'd enter the house.
He's
but no,
hanging out
I just
somewhere
want to, for
else.
the listeners, this is Amanda's notes. At the Cancer House, Debbie gets a late night visitor in her bed. Cancer dad? Nope. Cancer mom.
Singing Melissa Etheridge.
Goddamn.
And then at Sean Place, they're doing up the pull-out bed, presumably for the boys to share, probably.
Yeah.
And then she tells him that she rescheduled her abortion. And then they have a cute, fun little pillow fight with the kids.
It's cute. I love when Liam's actor gets to have fun.
Yeah, it's fun. Like, he does that thing where she, like...
He's like,
I just like this thing that they have going where she brings up a serious topic and, like, he is aware that she does not want to talk about it. She would just like to inform
He's
him
like,
of the thing
okay.
that's happening. It's like, cool, pillow fight.
cool, let me bully you a little.
I love Sean. I love Sean. It's gonna hurt me because I love him. And then we cut to credits. The after credit scene is Carl asking if the one refugee girl killed anyone in the war, and then she just starts to count on her fingers, and she just keeps going.
She, like, passes, like, 5. And Carl's, like, his
Carl's like face just drops.
his
He's
eyes
like,
just widen. He's like, damn.
It's like, I am not as hard as I thought I was, actually. And then I could not find the credits music. I don't think it exists as a real song. And then
probably not.
next week on Shameless, Fiona needs Gus to sign some paperwork so that Fiona can try to buy back her house.
It fills
Yeah.
in the gaps, obviously.
And then Nick is still messed up about his bike and does something bad. He does something bad. I don't know what it is, but it seems pretty bad.
I think you putting it in caps definitely intensifies that. Yeah, it's badder than bad.
Because even Carl seems like, oh shit, that's not good. Like,
Do they
if
use
Carl
that
is
scene
worried,
of him, like,
yeah.
with the
Yeah,
police?
yeah.
Oh, damn, they shouldn't have used that, because that's the one that puts you on the edge of your seat.
And then Lip has to speak at a hearing about Helene and their relationship, and that is next week.
Well,
Oh boy! So that's the episode. Boy howdy.
crazy. I love closing my Google
Seriously
Doc
crazy.
to seeing Dan and Phil playing Akinator, because that's what I was watching before we joined.
Oh my god. Did you listen to Simon's?
Yeah, I
piece?
did, dude.
It's really
It's
good,
crazy.
right?
Amanda, so Lena's friend wrote an entire symphony orchestra piece that is over 10 minutes about Dan and Phil.
Stop it.
Yeah, dude, it's beautiful.
Yeah, they're going through a serious Dan and Phil phase.
I need to talk to
Um,
Simon more often.
I need to talk to someone right now.
Um,
That's how I feel all day, every day.
So thoughts, Amanda. I always want to hear your thoughts first because this is your first time watching these episodes. So let's hear it. How do you feel? What's your feelings? I know you
One
obviously
thing-
fucking hate the pacing.
I hate the pacing. I do. I love an insane girly pop moment. So that was super fun for me. Because, like, here's my thing with that. Like, I know that she, like, fucked everything up, but, like, Helene was doing something wrong, and that's all that Amanda did. She's like, hey, isn't this fucked up? And the rest of the world is like, yeah, this is kind of fucked up, actually. It's not great that she leaked her nudes,
Yeah.
but, you know, she didn't hit anybody with a car,
I
so...
I think a lot of
She
my
is
more
crazy,
resentment comes to Amanda is because of, like, this basically, like, this doesn't spoil it that much, but, like, this spirals Lip, and he does not get back on his feet until multiple seasons later.
Bro, like,
Like,
season
this is the
8 or something.
start of, like, Lip's,
His
his, like,
total downward
yeah,
spiral.
like, which is, like, why I think I have more distaste towards her because of, like, I guess what we all experience that you haven't seen yet, but...
Yeah. That's
but
fair.
also Lip was a bomb waiting to
Yeah,
go
he's
off.
always
like
been a bomb.
the minute that Helene got bored of him and dropped him, that this was going to happen.
Yeah,
like
regardless. But it just sucks that this is a circumstance because it made more intense and affected more people than it needed to.
yeah. But then also,
but yeah, what else? Sorry.
Debbie's storyline continues to be Debbie, and I hate Debbie, but the Frank part of it is actually interesting and fun.
Yeah.
Cancer Mom's fun.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I was gonna say, like, that storyline is only interesting because of what we get between Frank and the mom. Like, I could care less about Debbie and the dad.
Yeah. And Fiona is kind of infuriating me lately, but like Girly Pop's getting her life together. I have a feeling she's going to continue to not get this abortion, and then she's going to eventually lose the child. Like, that is what I predict is going to happen. Because
no
I
comment.
know she doesn't have one, but I think she is like, they've now put off her abortion so many times that I'm like, there's no way she's getting this abortion.
I think
Do you want to know whether or not she
Do you want to
does?
say it?
I don't know. I would like to make a prediction and see what happens.
All right.
right.
For the listeners,
Also, I'm so
obviously,
worried.
me and Lena have seen the series in the entirety, so we have more intel of what happens in future episodes, and Amanda has no knowledge at all about
Yeah,
what she's
I
gonna
have
be seeing.
context clues
Until, like,
from what
season
happens
10.
in
I know.
seasons 10
Every
and 11.
single episode that me and Lena's like one-on-one conversation is crazy because we have to talk about something secretly.
Well,
so
we will just be
Amanda-
texting back and forth like, can you believe?
'Cause, like,
or remember this,
Conspiratorially.
remember
Amanda
that.
will bring up a topic that like me and Lena can't make a comment on because our opinions would sway what happens, and I don't want Amanda to get like hints off of that because us saying like something bad happens to Nick, you could have predicted at the moment you met that kid. So like
I
it's
know.
just certain more details that I try to avoid because I want you to actually like be shocked and have the
Yeah.
emotions because I remember watching this season for the first time and like my jaw's on the floor for the later half. Like
Like, it
the
is-
ending
like-
scene,
No,
the
seriously.
basically like the last 3 episodes, bro, you're gonna feel
It
crazy.
is fun to make these notes as I watch the episode for the first time because, like, the minute that I saw how much they were focusing on Nick's bike lock, I was like, something
You were like,
bad.
uh-oh,
You're
uh-oh.
like,
Oh,
something
no.
about the bike. And like even with like last episode, like he was just like, I don't want a car, like I want a bike, dude.
And the Yanis thing, like, out of nowhere with Yanis was like, yeah, you know what? Watching these and doing
See-
the notes while I watch them for the very first time is
Like,
the way to
that's
go.
ridiculous.
say-
That's ridiculous. And that's like too much in the plot where it's like, this is crazy. But also, that was funny.
Yeah.
I
Like,
feel
that's how you do funny.
Lena, would you agree
It was ridiculous,
that
though.
we won't do as much giggling in the next couple episodes? Like I feel like the tone definitely shifts a little.
Well, something
bit.
terrible is going to happen.
There,
in the next
there will be
episode.
some,
Most obviously,
there will be some
There is
cringing.
the thing that happens, which is like the big thing with.
I'm like so worried. I know nothing at all about Nick, so like I'm
I
so
would
worried
say- okay,
about what's
like, I
happening
feel
in the
like
next
we're-
episode.
Honestly,
We're blowing
it does get like pretty serious these next couple
Yeah.
episodes, but there is some cringeworthy moments.
Which one?
Particularly
With
with Ian.
With
Is it-
Ian, yeah. No, the writing with him and Caleb is already infuriating.
Oh, is it when they go to the wedding?
I've seen that. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's just a gif in an edit because it's like sexy Ian with his like V line showing.
It's like, oh, bro, you tried, huh?
Yeah, it's like when he was dancing on the podium in the bar. Like, Cam.
Like, he looks ridiculous.
Cam, you can do a great many
Like,
things.
even in the bar, it's like, okay, like he just looks like coked out or whatever. Like, he doesn't look that bad. But at the wedding, bro, I laughed.
It's like Caleb's like cousin, like not like once removed, like not even like I don't know. Anyways, me and Lena know you know how me and
Yeah.
Lena
There's
feel.
just a lot of cringeworthy moments between Caleb and Ian in general, but ones that make you like annoyed and
Yeah,
mad.
Caleb just like sucks.
I just already
Just 'cause-
hate the
yeah,
writing
just-
around
it's just the
him.
condescending.
Because, like, these straight white writers don't know how to write gay people or black people. And then I know the next boyfriend, they also don't know how to write trans people. So this is
Trevor
so fun.
shows up at the
Yeah.
end.
Oh, we were
of
talking about how
season
much of a
7.
shit show the Trevor stuff was.
Yeah.
We'll get into
Dude, that
though.
actor has been on my For You page like 7 times this week. I finally blocked him. I was like, I can't look at you.
Is he
Elliot.
unemployed?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just like doing fucking normal ass TikTok shit. But
But then he
Yeah.
like my whole thing is just like when you're an actor who hasn't acted in a while, you can't say you're a working actor because guess what, you're not. Because you haven't been booked in a couple of years. Like yes, you're an actor, but you're not a relevant actor. And
I sense-
all of his comment section is always Trevor, and I'm like, boy, you can't run away from this because it's your most relevant role.
Right. Well, it's like that's the one.
Oh, I would say
role
okay.
that-
Never mind.
Well, I
Fosters,
guess and the
Fosters.
Fosters.
Sorry, that's where
I
like he
sense
got his.
some
like,
hater
whatever.
type shit, and I love it.
Oh no, you know my.
No,
not
I
that
know,
I have,
and I
not
love
that
it.
Okay, let me put on the record. I don't have any personal beef with Elliot, but I
Except
have.
you a little bit do.
But I have knowledge, and I have friends, and people talk.
and you have beef.
And I've been on the internet
Guys, if we all forgot, I'm trans, and I've been on the internet for a really, really long time. I know some things, but I can't go into detail.
I've heard some things.
But yeah, yes. So, like, I think that all of the storylines that are happening are strong. I think the way they are happening is infuriating. Like, V and Kev
Just the
just kind of
pacing.
got lost in the sauce in this
Yeah.
episode. Like, oh yeah, 7 different foster kids moved in. Anyway, like,
I think I really enjoy that plot with them, but they literally are just filler. Like they literally all their scenes were just a
But that's the thing is, if there was anything heavy happening with them, I think it would just be like distracting.
They always
or
get
it just
treated
it,
like
it would
filler,
feel like
though.
there's not. Yeah,
it's
but I
always
guess they're the
them. Like,
neighbors.
when they're not dropping Ian from an episode, they're dropping Kevin V. Like, they're immediately the most disposable in an episode, which is kind of aggravating.
like
Or-
Debbie and Fiona
or
and
Carl.
Frank
They
are
really start
becoming-
dropping Carl later.
Yeah. Because Carl has his big moment, and then he gets pushed to the sidelines, and then it's like the Debbie show because obviously
She's
It's
Right.
seriously
she,
the Debbie
like,
show.
Obviously, like
yeah,
she has her baby by the end of the season, so like it's just she's
yeah.
just getting
Even
more and
before
more
Fiona's
pregnant.
gone, even before Fiona's gone, it's like the Debbie show for a
Yeah.
while.
Because there's a new baby, so
seasons 8
of
and
course
9.
everyone's always like, "What is the baby doing?" So they're like, "Let's
Yeah.
show
Well,
Debbie
and
doing this and show."
Surprise,
Debbie doing that."
surprise, she's not a great mom.
Yeah, and then, like, when Fiona left, they tried to make Debbie, like, the new Fiona and the new main character, and then they immediately had to get Cam back on the phone. Be like, actually, do you mind coming back?
Honestly,
We
I
have a
would say
problem.
that
we fucked up.
it stays relevant, but it does get like kind of boring and dumb when Cam leaves. That is where I'm like, I'm bored.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's only like half a season.
Yeah, which is not that bad.
And I'm excited to get to it eventually. But hey, look, we did it.
Guys,
We did 605. And this will come out in a couple of weeks, unlike the ones that we recorded in literally July.
I know, literally, I love how like July 1st was the first
They're
episode
just
and
coming
the
out
5th
now.
episode is
Yeah.
December.
Listen,
ha,
we
guys,
have
we're busy,
shit
we're
going
adults.
on.
It was just Christmas.
We all work full time or go to school full time. We're busy. Nobody
Yeah,
cares.
seriously.
No
Nobody
one
cares.
literally
Only
cares.
us.
We love you. We love you guys because you don't care.
Yes. But I think, all right, it's 10 o'clock on
My
a
computer's
Wednesday.
about to die, and my desk
Yeah.
is far away from
Oh yeah,
an outlet, so I
it's
need
time
to wrap
go.
it up.
Let's wrap it up. And until next time, everybody, goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye.